Welcome back to Newstalk as we continue to remember the life and legacy of rock star Prince, who died unexpectedly this week at the all too early age of 57, an autopsy being conducted in his home of Minneapolis today. At this point, we don't know why Prince died. We know he was suffering from symptoms of the flu. His flight back to Minneapolis last week had to make an unscheduled landing in Illinois, we're told, so he could seek emergency medical care. Beyond that, we don't know much. The autopsy virtually certain to shed more light on what caused his death. We're talking with music journalist Marcus Moore. He writes for the Pitchfork website, the website Pitchfork, and for the Washington Post. Commentator Sharon Morton with us as well. Delighted to have both of you with us. Marcus, how does someone stay so relevant, so long, so connected, so energetic about his work as Prince was at the age of 57, cranking out albums of quality and with interesting work on a regular basis?
Well, I think Prince did a great job of redefining himself. He didn't, you know, in this current age of the media, or this current age of the internet, rather, you know, there's this immediate, this need for immediacy, the fact that you have to just make music all the time. But Prince decided he wasn't going to do that. He was going to buck that trend. And he made music whenever he felt it. And the music, more often than not, was quality. And every project was different than the next, you know, and you never knew when it was going to come out. So I think with Prince, more so than anything else, he remained relevant all these years just by simply being himself and by simply doing what no one else was doing, just by totally, you know, redefining what his character was. And in turn, he was kind of giving birth to this new generation of artists who are all doing the same thing, whether it's Frank Ocean or whoever. And they're just, you know, you can hear it in his music that he just wasn't the guy who was going to do what everybody else was doing. He was going to march to the beat of his own drummer, and I think that's why he stayed relevant for all these years.
Sharon, Prince looked good in his 20s, but he always looked good. I mean, the guy took care of himself, and his energy level seemed amazing. That had to have come through to you as a fan, seeing him over the course of decades, right up until last year when you caught him in concert in Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I first saw him when I was about 18 or 19, and then again last year. And, you know, I'm 50 now, and so there was no difference in the show. And during those decades, I mean, he looked the same. He was still dancing and doing splits on the stage and turning and singing while doing all of this. It was just like when I saw him back in 1984 at the Capitol Center. And, you know, I think the ladies appreciated Prince, too. I mean, he had a plethora of women always on his arm, beautiful women. He was known for that. And, you know, women love a man who can dress.
A sense, Marcus, of so many of the defining musical people of the 80s leaving us too early. Michael Jackson, David Bowie, now Prince. To use the phrase I've already used probably a bit too often, these people produced the soundtrack of, for many of us, our early adult lives. We'll always have the music, we'll always have the memories, but sadly we won't have these people still with us in a contemporary way.
Yeah, and, you know, and like I said earlier, this one definitely sung a lot more. You know, I equate it to when David Bowie died and when Michael Jackson passed, because, you know, you can't help but look at your own mortality in a sense, you know, and I think you just hit it on the head where you said that these people definitely provided the soundtrack to our lives. You know, I still listen to as many Prince records as I can, even though I have to review other stuff. I still listen to Michael Jackson. I still listen to David Bowie. But when these people start passing away, it definitely makes you look at your own mortality and just realize that, you know, things may not be the same as they were years ago. You still have these songs, but you kind of have to evolve with the times. And I think the lasting impact of the artist that we just mentioned, and Prince especially, is that he evolved. You know, even until his last show, he just kept evolving over the years. And you know, it's tough. It's really tough to even fathom that he's not here anymore because you know, Prince always came across as immortal. You know, you just kind of figured he'd be here forever. And so when that news hit yesterday, along with the news of like David earlier this year and Michael Jackson years ago, it just makes you realize that, you know, you have to definitely give props and you have to show reverence to icons and legends while they're still here. You know,
immortal and authentic, and I think that's what we all appreciate. Marcus Moore, Sharon Morton, great conversation. We appreciate both of you. We're back with a program note after this.